Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Home Depot in Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you're pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My Instagram name is @GrowFolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plants. But as you can see right here, it is an early cloudy morning in Prosper, Texas. I went ahead and wanted to go ahead and visit this Home Depot just because this is a Home Depot that typically stays nice and full of plants, both outdoor garden plants and indoor tropical plants. So we're going to see what plants we're going to find today. I have been on a roll in terms of getting my daily big box store plant shopping videos up. Really appreciate all of the plant foldies, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. But as you can see right here, we are about to walk into the Home Depot. Now, I will say with Home Depot, this typically is going to turn out to be more of a Proven Winners tour in terms of what Proven Winner plants are going to be available in the indoor tropical section. I love Proven Winner plants. They have some amazing selections in terms of the Proven Winners Leafjoy series for the indoor tropical plants, but Proven Winners also provides lots of outdoor garden plants. So we'll take a look at some of that. But as I approach the garden center at Home Depot, I am going to show you some of the plants that they always feature outside of the garden center, and it's typically the vegetable herb selection. So as far as vegetables and herbs, most of the vegetables and herbs are going to be in maturity. At least a lot of these plants are going to be past their prime in terms of the juvenile stage. So most of them will actually have stages where they are already going to be producing some fruit for you. And then you can see right here, we do have lots of citrus type plants. You can see that this is a citrus nursery that provides that. And then since I am based out in North Dallas, they do have lots of crepe myrtles. So if you don't know what crepe myrtles are, these are beautiful flowering trees that typically start to flower late June, early July. They really love that heat. They need to be in full sun. And as far as crepe myrtles, they are susceptible to fungus, so you want to keep them more so on the drier side. And so as far as North Dallas, my grow zone, which is 8B, it is a really suitable climate for crepe myrtles. And then over here we have some boxwood. So I have been wanting to do a bonsai video, and so I'm looking for bonsai material. This one is for $11.98. I recently got some supplies from the Bonsai Supply, which is an amazing company that provides bonsai supplies such as bonsai soil. If you ever check out Amazon and search the Bonsai Supply, they've got some good soil substrate which you can actually use for your succulents. So I would love for one of those to be something that you guys look at in the near future. But as you can see right here, we are about to go into the garden center of this Home Depot. So I'm super excited to take you alongside with me to show you what plants we have available at this Home Depot. I mean, I can't believe it is a very early morning. It's cloudy, but it's been a pretty decent summer in terms of the heat in North Dallas. But before we get into that, I did want to talk about Classy Rabbit soil. So for all of the plant foldies, you've already heard about Classy Rabbit soil, but if you haven't, my question is, have you pooped on your plants today? Because if you haven't, you definitely need to consider getting a bag of Classy Rabbit soil. So as you can see right here, I am using a bag to pot up one of my Aglonema in a terracotta planter. This is an Aglonema golden powder. And what I want to go ahead and show you is how amazing Classy Rabbit soil is. It is a super chunky, fast draining soil that is 100% naturally sourced. It is made by farmers, so they know exactly what is going to be good to put in soil. It is not created by soil scientists or whatever that means. It literally just has lots of goodness. It is a complete soil. So most of the time, whenever we buy soil, we want to go add other amendments to make it super super chunky, such as perlite. This soil substrate actually has everything you need. It is a complete soil. Things that you will find in this soil is obviously rabbit manure, which is the main component of this soil substrate that makes it super effective in growing your plants. It also has rice hull, it has pumice, it has composted food waste, so it's really sustainable, and then some other products such as natural mycorrhizae, which is going to really help develop the plant's roots. And I've been using Classy Rabbit soil for quite a while. It is my favorite soil substrate to use. And as far as the fast draining, you can see that as I water this plant down, look at how fast the soil just goes through. And just because it's fast draining does not mean it does not retain moisture. It definitely does, but it's going to allow your plant's roots to breathe. I really love Classy Rabbit soil for that matter, just because it is a complete soil again. It is naturally sourced, so it's sustainable to the environment. It's done extremely well for a lot of my plants that I potted it up. I see new signs of growth, and it is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. So we love supporting small businesses. If you are wanting to get a bag of Classy Rabbit soil, go to classyrabbitsoil.com. Shout out to all the plant foldies that have started to use Classy Rabbit soil. It is one of the best soils out in the market, in my personal opinion. My question is, have you pooped your plants today? And if you haven't pooped your plants, I'm asking you, go ahead and poop on your plants, especially if you pot up your plants in soil substrates. ClassyRabbit.com. Go ahead and shop there. And as you can see right here, plant foldies, I had to talk about Classy Rabbit soil because I have really started to pot up a lot of my plants in soil substrates. And, with Classy Rabbit soil, it is one of those soils that, number one, you don't really find in the general market, so it's not in big box stores. And number two, I definitely want to support local and small businesses. I know that we've been looking at a lot of big box stores recently, but local and small businesses is where it's at as well. Now, as far as the outdoor garden section at this Home Depot, I really love looking at this section because they have lots of plants that you are still able to plant out in your summer garden. So you see we've got lots of flowering plants. These are vincas, and vincas do extremely well in hot environments. They need to be in full sun. They are a little bit more drought tolerant than the average flowering plant. And then we're going to walk over here and take a look at some of the outdoor tropical plants that you can have in your patio or even in full sun. So we've got mandevilla flowers, we've got hibiscus, and we've got crotons. And I love the fact that they do have hibiscus. The only unfortunate thing for me is in terms of hibiscus is that they are plants that I really can't grow long term in my landscape because of my grow zone. Same thing with crotons. Like as far as croton plants, this one is a croton petra. I would love to be able to grow these outdoors long term because they become full-blown trees. Really love the colorful leaves that they have. They are a little bit finicky if you're trying to grow them indoors because indoor settings really don't provide them quite the lighting that they need, and crotons do not like to stay dry for too long. They start to drop their leaves, so it is one of those plants that's not really suitable to grow indoors long term. Now, there are people who have been able to grow crotons indoors long term, but the care for crotons like this croton mame is going to be a little bit more challenging. And plant foldies, as we continue to delve into big box stores and shopping for big box store plants, I will talk more so in depth about just plant care tips and my recommendations for plants that are going to grow well for you in an indoor space. I would say croton plants are a little bit more challenging. And what's interesting is they tend to push out more crotons in the fall season, which doesn't really make sense to me in terms of the longevity of the plant because the plant does not like cold weather. It really likes hot, humid, tropical environments. So a little bit, some care tips for croton plants, and then we're looking at more bonsai material. So this is the boxwood again. I'm really looking for nursery stock bonsai material, and you can find some good specimens even at a big box store like Home Depot. You can see we've got several shrubs, and we're just going to walk around and see what else we can find in the outdoor garden section. I will say I'm not going to spend as much time in the outdoor garden section because I am curious to see if there's still quite a bit of a selection at Home Depot in terms of proven winner plants. So let's go ahead and just walk around here. You can see right here for $19.98, we've got some variegated ginger, beautiful plant. I wish I could grow this indoors because I love the variegation, but unfortunately, this is very much spider mite prone when brought indoors. So, again, as far as certain plants, some plants are just more adaptable to being an indoor houseplant than others. This one kind of falls in the same category as a Hydra helix, one that if you bring it indoors, it just does not do well. It tends to be more spider mite prone. Same thing with cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. Long term, they're just challenging to grow indoors. So that's just my personal opinion and my personal experience with those plants. Now over here is a beautiful trailing plant. So I've been tempted to get one of these plants just because I like the neon color of it, but I would say this is more of an annual trailing hanging basket, at least in my grow zone. And you can see we've got lots of ornamental grasses and ground cover. We've got some Asiatic jasmine, for instance, and we've got some more plants right over here. We're going to take a look at some of the succulent and cactus right over here. This one is a Euphorbia trigona, I think, also known as the lucky plant. I really like that as well. And you can see this is provided by Smart Plants, which is basically the provider or nursery that provides succulents and cactus. I like the look of the Euphorbia. I just haven't really added a lot of succulents and cactus in my plant collection because they do require more care than you would think. They definitely need lots of bright light, and they also need to be in soil substrates that are fast draining. So I have two options for anybody that grows succulents and cactus. That would be using the bonsai supply soil or using Classy Rabbit soil, which is a really versatile type soil to put your plants in. Again, classyrabbit.com is where you need to go. But as far as the succulents and cactus, I really think this is really cool. See over here that this particular cactus pushes out little baby pups that you can eventually propagate and separate. I'm not sure how you would do that. Anyways, plant foldies, we are now going to the main event, and we're going to be looking at a lot of plants, mostly from Vigoro Plants, Nature's Way, and Proven Winner plants. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of these Proven Winner littles, and then we're just going to go pan around here and take a look at some of the other plants. But I wanted to give you just a little quick overview of what plants we will be looking at today. Again, I am really excited that I was able to film quite a bit of videos. It's just a matter of me being able to edit them. So the first plant we're looking at is a Hoya from Proven Winners Littles. This is the Proven Winners Leafjoy series, and these ones, let's take a look at it. Leafjoy Littles is what it's called, and these ones are only for $5.98. I've actually bought a couple of Hoyas in the past from Proven Winners Leafjoy Littles, and they've been growing very well for me. And then over here we have some Peperomia obtusifolia. This was a sweet and sour peperomia. It's always interesting how Proven Winners kind of renames some of the plants or has their own names for the plants. This one is just a Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. Really easy to care for plant. And I'm just recently discovering that not a lot of people are really into peperomias. I do think that they're easy care plants. They're definitely common plants that you can find at big box stores. And I would assume that they're also very much so overlooked and underrated. So for those that are actually growing peperomias, let me know in the comments section what your plant care tips are. I do like them. I just don't have any peperomias in my plant collection. And then you can see right here, this is another one from Proven Winners Leafjoy series. This is the Leafjoy Littles. This one is another type of Hoya for only $5.98. I will say that Proven Winners probably has the most varieties of Hoyas available when you talk about big box store selection as compared to some of the other competitors such as like Costa Farms, Urban Jungle, Live Trends Design. And then you can oversee right here, this is a Palea. So this is another Palea peperomoides for $5.98. And you can see that there are already little baby pups that you can actually separate from this plant. It used to be a very trendy, very expensive plant years back, but now it is common and easy to find. And then we have right over here, Frosted Terra Cynotis. This one is for $5.98. It kind of looks like a trade Scanthia. It has some fuzzy leaves, super cute. And for me though, I'm not 100% sure what the plant care tips are. So again, for anybody that grows this particular plant or any of the plants in general, feel free to leave in the comment section what your plant care tips are, because the Plantfoldy community is definitely a community where we are supporting each other and learning from each other. I am definitely not an expert when it comes to plant care or plants in general. I am constantly learning. A lot of my plant care tips, I've really been leaned into my experience with growing plants, trial and error, and obviously my grandmother Belen. I did want to just shout out again, thank you Plantfoldies for always supporting my grandmother's plants. She recently got a bunch of the pots that I bought from Amazon, so she will be busy propagating many plants for you guys to possibly purchase if you are interested in buying from her. Now over here, $19.98 is Vigoro hanging baskets. This one is an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Golden pothos or pothos in general are one of the easiest plants to add in your plant collection. One that I have to recommend to anybody that is wanting to grow houseplants indoors. And then over here, let's take a look. This one is a new trade Scanthia I haven't seen. This one is trade Scanthia Feeling Sweet. So they have one where it's trade Scanthia Feeling Flirty, where it has pink and white. This one is just more of a white trade Scanthia. Some people would even call this a trade Scanthia Pistachio. But you know, for $5.98, this would be an easy plant to multiply and propagate. You could just take a cutting or two and stick it directly into soil. I actually did a rescue of one of my trade Scanthias that was severely under watered and also neglected, and it is living its best life in full sun outdoors. Now over here is another type of syngonium. And if you ever see your syngoniums not fully unfurling their leaves like this one, it's because it does not have nearly as much humidity or light. So if you have syngoniums, definitely provide them with bright indirect light. And if you're able to increase the humidity levels, it's going to maintain the higher potential of the leaves unfurling. And then I wanted to show you Miracle Grow fertilizer. So this is Miracle Grow fertilizers, watering can singles, super easy to use for only $11.97. I do recommend Miracle Grow fertilizers. It's one that I've used for several years. And then we have over here another Hoya. This one is Hoya Adrift. And whenever you actually sun stress this Hoya, the borders of the leaves actually have a dark margin, which I really like. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pick up some of these Proven Winner Littles for you guys to take a look at. Let me know in the comments section what you think, but you can see that this particular Home Depot has quite a bit to pick from, ranging from Hoyas, Syngoniums, and Philodendrons. Can't go to Home Depot without seeing a Vigoro hanging basket of Epipremnum aureum neon pothos, $19.98. I would totally buy this pothos plant. You know, when it comes to multiples of a certain plant, pothos plants are definitely one of my plants I will always have multiples of. As you can see in my previous video, I ended up buying a Manjula pothos hanging basket. I also found some other baskets of pothos plants that I want to buy. So that is another plant I would definitely add into my plant collection. One plant I would not add to my plant collection for $7.98. This is a Calathea Dottie. And you know, with Calatheas, they're beautiful. Let's get this straight, right? They are beautiful plants, but they're very challenging to grow long term. I have tried multiple times to grow pothos plants, and not pothos, I'm sorry, Calatheas, but they just tend to go to plant heaven. And you know, at some point you just have to just let it go and let yourself know that it's not necessarily you, it's necessarily the plant that is just not going to give you the same kind of love you want to give it. So, you know, plant foldies, in terms of hard to care for plants or plants that you haven't necessarily had the best luck with, leave that in the comment section below. I would assume, if anybody participates in leaving comments, Calatheas would be a plant that would be added to that list. It is just a challenging plant. I have not figured out the care tips for it, or maybe I just don't have the environment indoors to be able to grow them long term. I say if there is a plant that you're struggling with to grow indoors, try to grow them outdoors in a shaded area. You have a higher chance of really growing the plants. Now, as far as the seeds, I did mention in a couple of videos that I love growing plants from seeds as well, especially zinnias. So zinnias are super easy. I love the fact that they basically don't really require a lot of care in terms of germinating them. You can literally throw the seeds out in your yard, make sure that you have a sprinkler or something that consistently waters, and you will see them germinate and sprout. And check out these massive Alocasia that I will be looking at a little bit closer in just a bit. But I did want to just pan around here again, plant foldies, and show you what they have to offer. And I always like to talk about plant products, or you know, plant fertilizers that you can use for your plant collection. So this is the Understanding Plant Food label. So the N is for nitrogen, P is for phosphorus, and K is for potassium. And so whenever you're looking at fertilizers, you want to see the content amount for it. And take a look at this Miracle Grow hose that you can just put on your hose so you can fertilize your garden feeder. I think that is really good. I think that is one of the accessories or plant accessories or fertilizers I want to use. And my go-to fertilizer is this Miracle Grow all-purpose plant food for only $8.97. Miracle Grow fertilizers are definitely value and budget-friendly fertilizers. This one, if you'll notice, has quite a bit of nitrogen. It has a good amount of phosphorus and potassium. Now, as far as plants, if you look at flower booster or bloom boosters right here, for instance, the middle number, which is the phosphorus, is also, if you have a higher content of that, that will actually produce more flowers for your plants. So if you have like a vegetable garden or you want more flowers, look for a fertilizer that has the middle number as having the highest one, because that is going to give you higher phosphorus content, which is going to help with root development as well as blooms. And a little tidbit about just using Bloom Booster. I use a trace amount of Bloom Booster to add into some of my Aglonemas that I get from overseas, just to go boost their potential of growing new roots. Obviously, whenever you're working with plants from overseas, there is an acclimation period, and I just want to give them the best chance to be able to develop roots. Osmocote Plus, that is one of the go-to slow release fertilizers that you can mix into your soil substrates. It's one that I would recommend if you're ever wanting to just have slow release fertilizer and have your plants be fed every watering. Osmocote Plus is a very gentle fertilizer. Now over here, plant foldies, we're going to be looking at a lot of these large tropical foliage plants. So we've got Alocasias, we've got large Boston ferns, and we have a bunch of these large Croton petras. This one is for $44.98. So this Croton petra, again, I would love to be able to grow crotons. I say this in all my videos whenever I feature crotons, but the problem with crotons is that they really require a lot of light. They truly need full sun, and they need to be consistently watered. So those are two factors that make it a little bit more challenging to grow them indoors. Is it possible to grow crotons long-term indoors? Absolutely. I've heard people that have been able to grow crotons indoors long-term, but their ideal conditions is they really want to be out in full sun, Yes, I mentioned full sun and also be consistently watered. Over here, we've got a Monstera deliciosa. That is a classic plant. It's a plant that, you know, I've grown for a while, but I haven't successfully been able to get a really massive, large one. And then we're looking at some more of these Vigoro plants here. So as far as a common Hoya you will find, that would be hanging baskets of Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess for $19.98. And as I pan around here, you can see that we've got lots of pothos plants. This is an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. If you are always following me on my big box or plant shopping videos, I would recommend that as an easy care plant. Please go ahead and go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and even maybe Target and buy yourself a pothos plant, golden pothos. It will bring you joy. It will make your journey into plant collecting easier because it is an easy to care for plant. I would even recommend a Crimson Queen or Crimson Princess Hoya. That is an easy to care for plant. And you can see right here, Marble Queen pothos, $19.98. This one is another easy to care for plant just because it is a pothos plant. Now, as far as variegation, all pothos really are impacted by the amount of light you give it. So make sure, plant foldies, make sure you are giving them bright indirect light. I currently have a lot of my pothos plants growing under a shaded area outdoors to really promote fast growth because my grandmother has really inspired me to propagate some plants. I may end up selling some plants at some of the local markets that we have in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know, plant propagation is a lot of fun. I think it's because you're able to produce more plants and you're able to produce them for free. You know, in terms of budget-friendly plants, the best kind of budget is one that you can acquire for free. And so, you know, other tips I would recommend whenever you are trying to save money on budget plants is plant propagation, plant trades. If you have a Facebook group or some type of group for plants, maybe being able to do trades or giving plants for free to others. That's one way to bring joy to somebody's life, but also to give budget-friendly plants because the best things in life, they always say, are free. I would agree with that. And, you know, to segue into another topic before I start talking about these terracotta planters, this is actually one of my favorite terracotta planters. The shape of it right here is just beautiful. I love the modern look on it, and it's got more of a granite look. So if you're looking for stylistic planters, this is one for only $3.97. But to go back to, you know, the best things in life are free, I would say, and I say this in all my videos, kindness. Kindness is a free thing that we can do for each other. Kindness is great for yourself. Self-care is definitely something that is warranted because I always tell people, if you're not at your best self, it's very difficult to take care of others. I know that I've had a couple of struggles recently with just work being super busy, super stressful, personal things in my life. But one thing that I have taken for myself and just for my wellness and mental well-being is just taking time for myself. So, you know, as far as plant foldies, I know you guys look for the daily big box or plant shopping videos, but I'm giving myself a little bit more grace. Now, is that really fully committing to my daily 1-hour plant shopping videos? Not necessarily, but I feel like the plant community we have on the Grow Folds YouTube channel is very forgiving. And to me, if I feel like I need to have a little bit time for myself just to rest or just to be present in my daily real life outside of YouTube, I do that. You know, yesterday, I actually meant to premiere this video the other day, but I had some family surprise me that came in from the East Coast, and we went out as a family to Hot Pot, and that was a lot of fun. You know, family time is definitely important for me. You know, being Filipino American family is very important, and that time was really precious. And I always say my plant folding community will be there whenever I premiere a live premiere. So, you know, for the plant foldies that actually watch my shopping videos, it's not only me talking about plants. I think that you guys have realized that a lot of this is also my personal lifestyle blog, where I do mention tidbits about what's going on with my life and just giving tips on just wellness and mental health. Self-care is the best care. Kindness is free. I challenge everybody, or not even challenge everybody. I would say, I ask everybody as you watch this video and as, you know, the next day happens, think of something that you can do that is kind, give kindness to somebody, and please leave that in the comment section below. I would really love to know your random acts of kindness. Now, as far as random acts of kindness, let's just say that Proven Winners Leafjoy always gives us kindness with these amazing plant selections. So we're looking at these philodendrons. This is a philodendron bellitiae. I love this plant. Beautiful orange stems, and I really love the elongated leaves. And you can see right here, all of these Proven Winner Leafjoy plants are amazing. Now, these ones right here are for $19.98. This one is a begonia crisscross or iron cross. I really love this as well. This is a Rex begonia. Unfortunately, Rex begonias are not as easy, at least for me, to grow. So if I were to grow a begonia like quintessential, the way my grandmother grows them, I would go for cane begonias or angel wing begonias. The ones that grow upright, that will need eventually a support system for it to just climb up. But you know, Rex begonias, they're beautiful, but they do require a little bit more care. Like, you don't want to really get their foliage wet because it will end up getting rot. Now, as far as the other plants here, I recently gave this Thenanthe to my friend Isaac. He's actually going to be doing a family silent auction for some plants to help with his family reunion. So shout out to Isaac. If you don't know who Isaac is, he is one of my best friends. In August, we will be celebrating 25 years of friendship. His YouTube channel is Hi JR Singh, so definitely check that out. I recently gifted him a plant that is still doing well in my plant care, but I feel like it's going to a good cause. Now, I'm gonna walk over here again, plant foldies, and you can tell that there are certain plants I gravitate to, and those are the plants that have a lot of color. I love colorful leaves. I love large leaves, and I love plants that really remind me of my family's heritage. You know, in the Philippines, crotons just grow into full-blown trees. They are absolutely stunning. They don't require a lot of care because they have the environment that they need. As far as croton petras, though, I am always disheartened because they often are grown as an annual plant. But when you think about a lot of these plants, right? All of these plants we are looking at as we go big box or plant shopping. For instance, this beautiful philodendron, for instance. These plants take a while to grow out. You know, I would even call these nurseries farmers. These are farmers that grow tropical ornamental plants. If they are not bought or make it to a home, oftentimes they're either just thrown in the trash or, in the best case scenario, composted. And that's the reason why I feel like overconsumption of plants, sometimes it's not always the best thing. And, you know, I can go on a tangent about it, but whenever I look at, say, certain plants that are overproduced, for instance, crotons, when we get them out in the fall season, they're not necessarily meant for the fall season. In the United States, it's super cold. The croton plant does not like cold, and the days are shorter. Croton plants like a lot of light. So it's just interesting. You know, a lot of plants are really grown for decorative purposes, but you have to think this is a living living creature. I would even say this is a living organism, and these are plants that require an environment that is going to be conducive for them to grow. So, you know, as we look at these Proven Winner Leafjoy plants, like this one right here, Ficus elastica tiniki, beautiful plant. This is another plant that you can potentially grow outdoors in full sun. I remember being in the Philippines last year, in July, actually, last year. It's almost been a whole year since I went and vacationed out in the Philippines, but it actually ended up being a plant that I never saw in its full glory, a full-blown tree that was like 10 feet, 15, 20 feet tall. It was absolutely stunning. And as far as like calatheas as well, you know, calatheas, they just do better outdoors. I think any plant that is finicky, any plant that is spider mite prone, if you put them outside, it's like giving them a steroid shot. They're just more resilient. They grow faster. They just do better outdoors. And so, you know, when I think about plants that are easy care plants, I think plants that are easy care plants are plants that can adapt into an indoor space that may not necessarily have the best light, an indoor space where you don't necessarily have just rain, water that just, you know, falls on the plant. You know, so I would say low light tolerant plants, drought tolerant plants are the best plants to add in your plant collection. So, you know, plants like Sansevieria or snake plants, pothos plants, Aglonema. You know, we've been talking about Aglonema for a while. Let's hashtag popularize Aglonema. Now, philodendrons too can fall into the easy care plant. This one is a philodendron pink princess for $19.98. And you know, philodendron pink princess, there's many varieties. This one doesn't have nearly as much pink, but it's got beautiful dark green foliage and those burgundy red stems. Sometimes I think the stems are more interesting than the actual foliage. I don't know, plant foldies, leave it in the comment section below if you agree with me. But you know, philodendrons also fall into easy care plants, except for the velvety textured ones. And then we also have a staghorn fern here for $19.98. Beautiful plant. A lot of people will stylize staghorn ferns and actually mount them on wooden planks to actually display them on walls. I've never done that, but that would be an interesting project to do. One of my favorite content creators is Benji Plant. He is one that I really am inspired because I do like his stylistic approach to plants, his curated and even in lifestyle blogs. That's something that if I were to actually do a face reveal on YouTube, I would love to delve into more of a lifestyle blog where I talk about style, art, culture versus just having plants. Because when you think about like YouTube, a lot of times whenever you're creating content, and this is just insights for anybody that is interested in knowing what the insights are for content creation, oftentimes whatever social media platform you use, you're kind of like put into a specific niche. So for instance, if you look at some of my other videos that are not big box store plant shopping videos, they're not really viewed as much, or better yet, they're not pushed out to nearly as many of the plant foldies. I mean, when you think about it, right, we are approaching almost 16,000 plant foldy subscribers, but there are some videos, especially the relaxing plant chore videos, where it's only reached like 400 views. And so I think a lot of it has to do with niche, and I do appreciate those that really do enjoy big box or plant shopping videos. I mean, you can't help but look at like how beautiful this calathea is, for instance, $19.98 in a 10-inch planter. But there are other aspects or interests that I would eventually like to delve into with the plant foldy community. One way to do it though is to join my YouTube membership tier. Again, it is for the price of a cup of coffee for only $2.99. You can join it, and I will have my lifestyle blogs, my food blogs, my chicken videos, and other things aside from plants. So definitely wanted to thank everybody that has become a super plant foldy. If you want to join, just make sure you are pressing the join button if you're watching on a computer, or look for the direct link in the comment section of this video that is pinned. Hopefully you will join it. And again, I have to always shout out David for always gifting super plant foldy memberships. I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you for supporting the plant foldy community, and thank you to all those that just watch my videos and are always on the live premiere chats. You know, we have so many characters on the live premiere chats, and you guys bring me so much joy. So let me stop rambling for a little bit, and I'm just gonna walk around and show you all of the beautiful plants right here. For $29.98, we've got an Aglonema Silver Bay. This is a place where if you're a local plant foldy living out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, go to this Home Depot. Please buy this Aglonema Silver Bay. There's slight damage on one leaf, but you can cut that brown part off. Really good price. This is a massive Aglonema for only $29.98. Somebody please buy this Aglonema. Aglonema Silver Bay can tolerate lower light conditions and is also drought tolerant. Same thing with this Aglonema Nicole. I recently bought another Aglonema Nicole. Beautiful plant, and you'll see that there is a slight difference in this particular Aglonema. The borders of the leaves have a thicker green border. I just love Aglonemas, and you know, for me, I'm still baffled. I'm so confused. I don't know why the plant community is not going crazy over Aglonema. They are the best plants to grow in your plant collection because they're easy really care. They're low light tolerant, they're drought tolerant. For the most part, they're easy to find at a big box store. Now, the more colorful Aglonemas that I've been doing unboxing videos, if you haven't already, check out my leafcrafter.id unboxing video. You'll see some rare and uncommon Aglonema. Those are a little bit challenging to grow to a certain extent. But if you want just a fast growing, and I say fast growing because the greener Aglonemas or the Aglonema silver bay is a little bit more vigorous than some of the more colorful varieties, this is easy to care for. $29.98. Plant foldies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Please buy all of these. Like I'm telling you right now, can we go ahead and just rescue? And I say rescue because I would be sad if these Aglonemas didn't go to a good home because they've grown for a while. You can tell that these have been growing for a while. And look at how lush and full these Aglonema silver bay are. You know, as far as Aglonema silver bay, I will ask the plant foldies, and if you are a loyal plant foldie that is always engaged, leave in the comments section below if you get a chance. If you own an Aglonema silver bay, how long you've had your Aglonema silver bay, and if you don't have an Aglonema silver bay, when are you going to buy an Aglonema silver bay? Please leave that in the comments below. I, again, love it. Love it when you guys take the time, just take a second to comment on this video. I love your insights and I love the interactions we have. So Aglonema silver bay, beautiful selection. And over here, we've got some Ficus elastica burgundy. Love that as well. This is another plant that you can grow in full sun outdoors. Just make sure you don't just put it out in full sun after buying it at a big box store or a nursery. Let it acclimate in a shaded area and eventually move it into a higher light condition. Now over here, plant foldies, we're just going to pick up lots and lots of Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. Again, Proven Winners, Proven Winner plants, garden plants, Leafjoy plants. They are some of the best, and I just love the fact that Proven Winners has different ways of styling plants. You can see right here, we've got the Leafjoy H2O bowls by Proven Winners. These are very trendy, so you are literally growing these plants in a hydroponic situation, straight water. Now, I would say long-term, they're going to need some plant nutrients in order for them to grow, but this one is an Epipremnum aureum jade pothos, just a green variety. And then we also have all of these beautiful philodendrons right over here. This is called philodendron fall leaves. I love the burgundy maroon stems and also the dark foliage on the leaves. Some of the fall leaves philodendrons have more of like an orangey bronze tone, so there's many different varieties, but needless to say, these H2O bowls by Proven Winners Leafjoy series is amazing. $19.98 for these small ones. think this is a creative name. Philodendron Green Princess. We've got the Philodendron White Princess, Philodendron Pink Princess, Philodendron Orange Princess, but the Green Princess, which I think is going to be the most vigorous of all the princess because it is just a green variety philodendron. Super cute. And, you know, kudos to Proven Winners for just always having some creative names. And you can see right here all of the Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. We've got some Ficus benjamina type plants. These are for $19.98. And so we're just going to go ahead and pick up a couple more and I'll show you these. Now, Ficus benjamina, or these plants right here, are a little bit more challenging. Stay consistent on the watering. You need to give it lots of bright light. That's really my plant care tips for this particular plant. It is beautiful. I love the variegated leaves, but this plant will shed its leaves if it does not have the right environmental or plant care conditions. Plant Foldies, I'm just curious if you tend to lean toward more like Proven Winner Leafjoy plants in terms of your tropical plants. Do you prefer Costa Farms plants, Urban Jungle plants, Live Trends Design plants, Vigoro plants, Nature's Way plants? Leave that in the comments section below, or do you just have a diverse selection of different types of plants from the different types of nurseries? I tend to buy from all of the nurseries just because I like to diversify where I buy my plants, whether it's big box stores or local plant shops like Peta's Planters, for instance. And shout out to Peta's Planters again. If you haven't gotten an Instagram, definitely follow Peta's Planters on Instagram. They do live selling events on Instagram on Thursdays, typically at 6 p.m. So definitely check that out. But as you can see right here, Plant Foldies, we've got some spider plants. That one is only for $19.98. And then we have some more Syngoniums. Love pink Syngoniums. This one is the Cupid's Arrow Syngonium, I think, or Cupid's Quiver. See, you know, Proven Winners just comes up with really creative names. Again, if you have Syngoniums that don't have leaves that unfurl all the way, try to increase the humidity levels. You'll have a higher chance of them unfurling all the way and also giving them more bright light, bright indirect light. And you can see these are super root bound, so these are super healthy. For me, if I'm able to grow Syngoniums in a semi-hydroponic substrate like Leca or Lechuza Pond, they just tend to do better for me because I'm able to maintain the water levels that they need. Syngoniums need to be consistently watered. They do not, and I repeat, do not like to stay dry for too long. Otherwise, you start to run into problems. And there are certain plants that you love, or at least I love looking at, but not necessarily growing. Ferns are going to fall into that place. I did want to spin around here again and show you some more of these Vigoro plants. This one is another calathea. I do like calatheas. This is another plant I have to just admire from afar, more so just whenever I'm going big box or plant shopping. I'm able to handle them. I'm able to look at the leaves, but I don't necessarily have to take care of them. I can just borrow them for a little bit of time. Now, Sansevieria, $7.98. We've got different types of Sansevierias, or what you call snake plants. I love snake plants. And actually, I remember receiving an amazing gift box from Succulents Asia. Follow them on Instagram if you haven't already, of some variegated, super rare and super expensive Sansevieria for free. They're doing extremely well. Now over here we've got a Calathea lancifolia, or what you call the Calathea rattlesnake. It's a beautiful Calathea. Again, this is another plant I have sent multiple times to Plant Heaven, and unfortunately it's just not going to make it into my plant collection just because it is a little bit more challenging to grow. But as I pan around here, plant foldies, I'm just going to keep showing you the remainder of the plants that we have today. Hopefully you are enjoying all of the plants that I'm showing you. I was a little bit worried, and actually this is another plant that I would almost impulse buy, $7.98. I just like the variegation of this particular Sansevieria. But anyways, what I was mentioning is I thought that summertime doesn't really have a lot of house plants, but proven me wrong, or I was proved wrong by big box stores, because they still have quite a bit of plants. And the next couple of videos after this one will feature lots of big box or plant shopping videos at Lowe's, because I'm telling you, Lowe's has gotten a lot of plant restocks. So I am so excited to go big box or plant shopping to show you some more Lowe's plants. So definitely stay tuned for that. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, lots and lots of beautiful plants. I can't help but look at this Aglonema Silver Bay, for instance, $14.98 by Vigoro Plants. And in the background, which I will eventually get to, are all the remaining philodendron from Proven Winners Leafjoy. You can see we've got some more H2O bowls by Proven Winner Leafjoy. This one is for $19.98. Feel free to leave in the comment section if you buy Proven Winners Leafjoy plants. Hopefully you do, because Proven Winners has some amazing selections. They have some selections that even like big box store nurseries like Costa Farms may not always have available. And so that's what makes big box or plant shopping really exciting, because you can find different selections of plants. This philodendron, I'm sorry, not philodendron, Dracaena white jewel in a hydroponic situation is beautiful as well. Very easy to care for plant. Again, plant foldies, get yourself a Dracaena. Please try buying plants that are easy care, because that is going to give you less stress and more joy. But anyways, let's just keep walking around here. And as I wrap up this big box or plant shopping video, hopefully you've enjoyed the selections that I've chosen and given you some plant insights. I just love getting that feedback on the plants that you guys like to buy in the big box store. So comments away, please. Please comment in the comments section. So the Alocasia Frydek for I think $29.98 is another Proven Winners Leafjoy selection. I love this, and it actually has a couple of baby Alocasia Frydeks. I do have a variegated Alocasia Frydek that I resurrected. Yes, resurrected from plant heaven, just because I let the plant die down all the way back to its core. It dried out, and I left it in Lechuza Pond, where I just hydrated it and also put water in the water reservoir, and lo and behold, it sprouted. So, you know, Alocasias are considered plants that you could resurrect or bring back from plant heaven. You just have to let it die back all the way to its core and water it and see if it'll come back. So that's another plant hack that I figured out. And in terms of all of these beautiful ficus plants, we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy and Ficus elastica ruby, which is what I'm about to pick up right here. $29.98. Beautiful plant. I remember Home Depot actually doing a special where these were half off. And so sometimes you will get lucky going to a big box store and they'll do like a massive plant sale. That is the best time to also go shopping, because you're going to save money on plants. And I don't know about you, but plant collecting can be quite expensive. We all need to be mindful about our plant budgets, unless you are somebody that has, you know, disposable income. I mean, feel free to drop a super sticker. And, you know, I always mention that as well. Super stickers definitely help out with this plant channel. It is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator on YouTube. Just press the $ on the bottom right hand corner if you want to go ahead and drop a super sticker for this channel. Now, this right here, Philodendron gloriosa. It's a beautiful plant. This is a crawling philodendron. So this one doesn't want to climb up a totem pole. It will actually crawl across the pot. And this one is one of the velvety textured philodendrons, which makes it a little bit more spider mite prone. I think any velvety textured philodendrons tend to be more spider mite prone. So for me, I grow my Philodendron gloriosa, which is actually from Proven Winners Leafjoy, outdoors in a shaded area, and it is doing fabulous. So just a little tip on that. I do love the fact that Proven Winners Leafjoy actually has crawling philodendrons. That's something that I haven't really seen from other big box store type nurseries like Costa Farms, Urban Jungle, Live Trends Design. So, you know, kudos to Proven Winners for that. And look at this beautiful Alocasia Frydek. Just a green variety is just as gorgeous. I think that it even has a different look in terms of just a variegated form. I think it is stunning. Let me know what you guys think about green plants as well in the comments section. And plant foldies, as I begin to wrap up this big box or plant shopping videos. Hopefully you have enjoyed this selection today at the Home Depot. You know, when it comes to Home Depot, you're definitely not going to see as many Costa Farms plants, or at least the ones in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Home Depots don't typically carry Costa Farms plants, but you will find tons and tons of Proven Winner Leafjoy plants. So that is still a win-win for all of us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can see this is a Philodendron White Wizard, and you can tell that it's not a Philodendron White Knight because the stems and petioles are green versus that maroon burgundy tone. I love this philodendron as well. And as far as philodendrons of this kind, they are super drought tolerant. I haven't even watered my Philodendron White Knight in over a month, and it's still doing well. Philodendron verrucosum. This is another stunner of a philodendron. So when you talk about, you know, whether Proven Winners Leafjoy has some plants, yes, they do. And this one is another beautiful philodendron. Unfortunately, I just know that this would end up getting spider mites in my plant care just because I don't have the ambient environment it needs, that humid environment that it needs. So I will just go plant window shopping. That is a new term for me. And so whenever I say big box store plant shopping, really a lot of it has to do with me just doing a big box store window plant shopping, which is okay because we can still enjoy the beautiful foliage of the plants, but not necessarily create a hole in our wallet. So hopefully you are enjoying the plant window shopping here. I am super tempted to buy this one though for $19.98. It's such a beautiful velvety textured philodendron. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, and can I get a like button press if you made it this far into the video. Number one, thank you for engaging and watching all the way through, but please press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. You know, we are really trying to grow this plant community because I feel like the more plant foldies we have in the plant community, the better we will have in terms of just the chats and just the fun we have with each other in terms of talking about plants and even supporting each other on our daily real lives. I appreciate the transparency that the plant foldy community continues to have. I love the fact that we all do spot checks on each other because let's face it, the world can be a little bit stressful, but plants will definitely bring us joy. And that's why I love to make content like this where it's longer format. I could easily do shorter content, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of you guys will congregate and join the live premiere chat. So I at least try to do 1 hour plant shopping videos. And if I'm not able to get a 1 hour plant shopping brand new video, I will at least do a marathon where it will be at least 2 hours so we can all at least chat with each other. So, you know, I always like to let you know what I am doing with the channel, but as far as today, early bright morning, and I'm just happy that I'm able to get this video up. As always, consider joining my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies. Press the join button and you will get access to you know, custom made emojis of my chickens and also some exclusive members only videos. And also, if you haven't already, my name is Richie at GrowFolds. Please subscribe to my channel with all the notifications turned on so you never miss a video from me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.